Aries, how are you? Welcome to the channel and to your reading. We are going to connect with your energies for these days. I remind you that these are general readings. So I am going to ask you to take what resonates, what applies to your situation, and what does not, you let it go. And also, if it is possible, consult your moon sign and your rising sign. They always let us see something more of what might be coming. I am going to start this reading with the message from the angels of light who want to leave you a sign for these next days, next hours. What do you need to know, Aries, regarding what might arrive? We are going to start this reading with a card that is telling us a solution is finally on its way. It shows that much brighter, more prosperous days are ahead for you personally. Above all, this card highlights matters that have to do with your own personal empowerment or what might be the exact right moment for you to finally take action regarding a plan you have been holding on to. It is time to step forward with confidence, trusting that the energy surrounding you is shifting to support your growth, your goals, and your ultimate success in the coming time. Because those better days are observed. Since you are starting to feel the calm after what may have been a conflict, a stormy situation, an irritating situation that caused some area of your life to spin out of control. Maybe about work, or it may be personal, but thought 6, the 6 of Swords, speaks of that transition. It is the passage from that complicated situation to a harmonious one, to a safer place, a better place, one that is more stable. And that may also have to do with the fact that you know that in that place toward which you are aiming, there is also wealth, right? I believe you arrive at a safe harbor. Consequently, that sense of deep-seated stress you are feeling at this very moment begins to gently fade away, and you soon start to connect with an entirely different kind of emotion. It is an emotion filled with true happiness, profound fertility, and beautiful, limitless expansion. You might be about to take a trip as well. It could be that you are connecting with lands far from where you are, or perhaps you will receive an invitation from abroad. It is also possible that your work will shift and become related to an environment much further away than your current surroundings, or that you must travel specifically for your professional life. You may have to travel specifically for work because it's next to the Empress, which is clearly talking about the materialization of projects, projects you've dreamed of, projects you want to bring into reality, and finally ground in the real world. And also this sensation of peace or this sensation of harmony after what is the end of the difficult situation awakens in you what could be the desire to create something or to do something or to change your attitude regarding what could have previously been an adversity. The moment arrives when you start feeling, and obviously astrologically you are there, the desire to take action. You begin to literally create and carry out the great things that you have been thinking about or feeling moved to do, finally bringing those long-held visions to life and reality. You feel prepared and ready to begin grounding those ideas, bringing them to life and developing them. Above all, this is the perfect moment to finally bring to life those plans you've been holding on to for such a long time. You are discovering the methods, finding the necessary resources, and because the Two of Pentacles is present, you are also crossing paths with the right people who will offer their full support. Everything is coming together perfectly, giving you the solid foundation you need to make it all happen. And on top of that, by turning this into something real, it will most likely work beautifully because it gives something back to you that feels more secure, and it comes back to you in a bigger, more expansive form. That is to say, the Empress has the possibility of multiplying resources, right? So you are also receiving in consequence everything that you have given for that plan, for that project, or even for that relationship. Because it could be that after a period of transition where you are trying to get out of a difficult situation in a relationship, a good moment arrives where the relationship begins to settle, where the connection begins to rekindle through communication, dedication, and commitment. A moment that might also mark the end of loneliness for some of you, signifying the conclusion of that situation and the beginning of a fresh chapter where you finally feel seen and truly understood once again. And the Empress obviously demands attention, demands affection, demands love, demands personal care, but also from a person who is attending to her, who is in some way incentivizing her, motivating her, and makes her feel in that energy so exalted in a good way that the Empress has, right? It is an energy of gestation, of abundant resources, and above all else, of love, including a deep sense of self-love, which is also beautifully reflected in the specific person who is currently making their way toward you in your life. The resources come hand in hand with the Two of Coins. The Two of Coins is a card that also tells us about the need on your part to keep things in order or in balance. Because as you change your reality, surely in this new context, what could be new elements or new resources that you have to adapt to what is already working will arise. And that will not to lose the balance of everything you have underway, right? Because this creativity and this expansion obviously bring new resources, new people, new jobs, more work, or more tasks. More time, more dedication to a person if we are in a relationship that we want to rekindle or a relationship that we want to start. So, what the Two of Coins asks of you is that you understand that you have to find the balance, the balance. So, you are going to be multitasking, or perhaps, as the Empress suggests, you are trying to realize that dream in terms of your personal scale, your work, or your private life. You are striving to bring everything into focus while managing the different demands on your time and energy. So, this is also a significant moment for you to take advantage of this transition to finally relax because the conditions are perfectly aligned so that there will be no errors and no losses, but rather only gains coming your way. Now, how could you actually manage to relax during this time? By simply choosing not to take things too much to heart and letting go of that unnecessary pressure. You really have everything under control, so allow yourself the grace to just breathe and be. Things that demand your attention, that is to say, the things that you feel you have to attend to, you attend to them so that the others that do not require so much dedication wait a little because things that is, they are not going to be lost. And you can invest time in what could be this relationship in the family or in doing activities that clear your head a bit because you are going to carry different situations at once or tasks at the same time. And we need all of that to give you very good results. When you find yourself under a significant amount of pressure or stress, while simultaneously trying your absolute hardest to keep every single thing in perfect order, you might eventually reach a breaking point and just completely overflow, don't you think? So it asks us for a moment like of also relaxation at a personal level. It is that the Empress, in fact, does it, demands it. She demands personal attention from what is care, nourishing herself with what she likes, Aries, attending to her needs of all kinds. And also in what refers to relationships, to going out, to interacting, let us not forget that the Empress connects a lot with what is family, with what is any type of relationship that nourishes her or nourishes him. So, well, it is a good moment to catch up with all those types of situations. Well, here there is a Page of Cups. It is a very psychic, very intuitive card. Queen of Cups and the Three of Wands are pretty closely aligned with what could be psychic information on a deeper level or with signs that are coming through in your life right now. It announces to us the arrival of love. You see, I told you that there was a romantic situation potentially standing at the very threshold of your life. But it may also be that you currently find yourself in a situation where something new begins to blossom, perhaps bringing forth a beautiful change that aligns perfectly with the deepest desires of your heart, while opening up a brand new path for you to finally embrace this exciting, unfolding connection. With all this expansion and this light at the end of the tunnel, there is a wonderful idea of what that plan of action could be, one that calls on you to step into the role of the Empress. And that, honestly, is something deeply fascinating, powerful, and full of promise for what comes next. You may also need to understand that this is a moment to take as calmly as possible, because in one way or another, you are going to step into situations related to learning, further specialization, and interaction with other people, all of which will be deeply enriching for you on every level, emotionally, mentally, and even in the way you see your own path unfolding from here as new opportunities begin to open up around you now. This is also a time for you to let go of what could be some kind of connection. How can I say it? Some sort of bond rooted independency, something you need to release now so it can loosen its hold on you and stop weighing on your path. In this case, it is not about a romantic relationship, but about some kind of dependent dynamic in a bond that is incredibly important to you, one that you really need to let go of. You need to allow that connection to just be what it is, to loosen your grip on it, right? That could be a child, for example, since it's beside the Queen of Cups and the Empress too. This would clearly be for some of you, especially the Aries child who's taking off and, well, finding their way to independence. So sometimes it can cost a little, and it is a moment like to realize that also that son, that daughter, well, has to open their wings and take their own flight. It's telling me that, yes, someone is interested in you, someone really is interested in you, and they're going to make that clear to you. It is also possible that the relationship, that connection I noticed earlier, is moving to the next level. This is because you are about to make a choice based on very sincere feelings rooted in dreams that, in some way, the two of you have already shared with one another along the way. It speaks to what could be an empathy for certain shared interests, and it goes beyond the deep and profound feelings that are currently flowing between the two of you as you navigate this connection together in the coming days. The role of the Aries mother also carries a message for you here, especially when it comes to the waiting period around some important events that will come through your children. And they are very good news indeed, bringing a great deal of joy for the family before long. Here it is telling you that you have done a very good job regarding what could be that upbringing, that attention, that dedication. And well, There is a truly interesting evolution regarding what might eventually come to be, all of which is unfolding through the personal development and the ongoing growth of these children of yours as well. It's also telling me about a situation that may require you to travel, relocate, or start planning a trip, and even begin organizing a certain step you'll need to take in the very near future. The reason for this is that you're going to be moving ahead into what may feel like new territory. You're entering unfamiliar ground, and that means preparing yourself for changes, decisions, and movement that will soon begin opening up a different path for you in your life. That is why you can see how your reading begins. It starts by saying that you are headed to a good place. This may be brand new territory or familiar ground, but with a renewed attitude on your side and on the side of the other people involved in that particular situation right now. There, you're going to feel very comfortable and at ease with whatever task you're working on. And you'll achieve what could truly be seen as a real success, especially in a context where results are what matter most. It's telling you that you're seeing how all that hard work is beginning to bear fruit, and above all, what could come from the Three of Wands: major expansion financially, or in the gains connected to your work and the growth of what you do. It shows that your effort is opening the door to something much bigger, where your job, your progress, and your earnings can all begin to expand in a very clear and meaningful way. Don't forget that this also begins with the intention poured into that deeply powerful energy embodied by the Empress, and that is where it all starts. So the Empress makes that happen, but the Three of Coins also allows for that to be materialized. But what does the Three of Wands do? It expands, it magnifies that situation and helps it grow. You receive what could potentially be something significant because your focus is entirely on that, giving it the space and the energy it truly needs to flourish. So you're growing with a clear, steady focus on what you truly want to have for yourself. And because of that, you'll be taking on challenges and responsibilities that are on the same level as what you really want, the kind that rise to meet your expectations and match the life you're aiming to create. In other words, if there is a demand, if there is a high demand, that is why there is a Two of Coins. You have the possibility of being in tune with that, right? And having what is an opening of opportunities in that situation, which still requires a great effort, because you know that in this place, in this situation, sooner or later, you will always have a great reward. Your expectations are very, very high, and they will be fulfilled. They are literally being fulfilled. But it is known that this is the trigger for that transition, that nothing lasts forever, nothing is eternal, and that this situation feels temporary, like something you are only passing through. This very situation, everything that is happening to you right now, is what triggers this result and ultimately starts moving you forward toward that outcome. Well, here it speaks to us of self-love. It has to do with the Empress. I named the word self-love for you. Love must always be your own first. The guides are connecting us with that. If you can feel it in your heart, it is the right path. Learn to cut off everything that does not resonate with you. Discomfort will make you move from where you no longer belong. It is now the time to move away from something in your life. Well, it is this, right? That is why it is connecting us with self-love. Impressive reading, Aries? I ask you to trust and to decree because this is arriving for you.